December 11, 1941. Just 4 days after Japanese aircraft devastated Pearl Harbor, Adolf Hitler walked into the Reichstag in Berlin and delivered a speech that stunned the world. He declared war on the United States. It was one of the shortest declarations of war in history, but its consequences would change the course of World War II forever. The strange part, Hitler didn't have to do it. Japan had attacked America, not Germany. The alliance between Germany and Japan did not legally require Hitler to declare war unless one of the allies had been attacked first. Since Japan had started the conflict, Germany could have stayed out of it. Instead, Hitler voluntarily challenged the world's largest industrial power while already fighting Britain in the West and the Soviet Union in the East. It was a decision so shocking that even some of Hitler's own military leaders struggled to understand it. Was it arrogance? A political gamble? A promise to Japan? Or was there a hidden reason behind one of history's greatest military mistakes? To answer that question, we have to step back to a Europe already consumed by war. By the end of 1941, Adolf Hitler appeared unstoppable. Only 2 years earlier, Germany had invaded Poland, beginning the Second World War. Then came one astonishing victory after another. Denmark fell, Norway surrendered, the Netherlands collapsed, Belgium was defeated. France, one of Europe's strongest military powers, fell in just 6 weeks. Across the continent, German tanks rolled through city streets, while Nazi flags replaced national banners. Newspapers around the world described Hitler as a military genius. Many believed Germany had become impossible to stop. The secret behind these victories was a new style of warfare known as blitzkrieg, or lightning war. Instead of fighting slow battles like those of World War I, Germany attacked with incredible speed. Fighter aircraft destroyed enemy airfields, bombers targeted communication centers, tanks smashed through defensive lines, motorized infantry followed immediately behind. Entire armies found themselves surrounded before they even understood what was happening. It wasn't just powerful, it was terrifying. Every victory increased Hitler's confidence. Every success convinced him that his instincts were better than those of his experienced generals. But success has a dangerous side. Sometimes, it convinces leaders they can never be wrong. That illusion would eventually lead Hitler toward one of the greatest strategic disasters in military history. However, another battle was already beginning, one far to the east. In June 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest land invasion ever attempted. More than 3 million German soldiers crossed the Soviet border. Thousands of tanks advanced across open fields. Thousands of aircraft filled the skies. Millions of bullets were fired within the first hours alone. Hitler believed the Soviet Union would collapse within months. He expected Moscow to fall before winter arrived. Many German officers shared that confidence. At first, everything seemed to go according to plan. Entire Soviet armies were surrounded. Hundreds of thousands of prisoners were captured. German newspapers celebrated another inevitable victory. But then the advance began to slow. The Soviet Union was unlike any country Germany had invaded before. The distances were enormous. Supply lines stretched hundreds of miles. Fuel became scarce. Food deliveries arrived late. Vehicles broke down on muddy roads. Then came the Russian autumn. Heavy rains transformed roads into thick rivers of mud. German tanks became trapped. Trucks struggled to move. Entire supply convoys stopped. Before Germany could recover, winter arrived. Temperatures dropped far below freezing. German soldiers wore uniforms designed for a short summer campaign, not for the brutal Russian winter. Engines froze overnight. Machine guns jammed. Thousands of soldiers suffered frostbite before firing a single shot. Meanwhile, fresh Soviet divisions launched powerful counterattacks. For the first time since the war had begun, Hitler's armies were forced onto the defensive. The image of an unstoppable Germany began to crack. But Hitler refused to accept reality. Instead of adjusting his strategy, he became even more determined. He believed victory was still certain. He simply needed one final push. While Germany struggled in the Soviet Union, another nation was quietly preparing for war, even without officially joining it. Across the Atlantic Ocean, the United States remained neutral. Most Americans wanted nothing to do with another European conflict. The memories of World War I were still painful. Families had lost fathers, brothers, and sons. Many believed Europe should solve its own problems. President Franklin D. Roosevelt understood these feelings. Yet he also believed Nazi Germany posed a growing danger to the entire world. Without officially entering the war, Roosevelt searched for ways to help Britain continue fighting. The result was the Lend-Lease program. American factories began producing rifles, tanks, trucks, aircraft, ammunition, food, and fuel not for the U.S. military, but for Britain's survival. Huge cargo ships crossed the Atlantic, carrying supplies worth billions of dollars. Officially, America remained neutral. But from Hitler's perspective, neutrality looked increasingly one-sided. German U-boats patrolled the Atlantic, attacking Allied shipping. American naval vessels began escorting supply convoys. Several dangerous encounters occurred at sea. Shots were exchanged. Ships were damaged. Tensions continued to rise. Although Germany and America were technically at peace, they were moving closer to open conflict every month. Hitler became convinced that President Roosevelt was deliberately provoking Germany into war. He believed America had already chosen Britain's side. Still, despite all these tensions, the United States had not declared war on Germany. And Germany still had a choice. Then, on the morning of December 7, 1941, everything changed. Thousands of miles away in Hawaii, Japanese aircraft suddenly appeared over Pearl Harbor. Within hours, battleships burned, aircraft were destroyed, and more than 2,400 Americans were dead. The attack shocked the world. The following day, the United States declared war on Japan, but not on Germany. For nearly 4 days, Hitler faced a decision that would determine the future of the Third Reich. He could stay focused on Britain and the Soviet Union, or he could bring America fully into the European war. What happened inside Hitler's headquarters during those 4 days, and why he ultimately chose the second option?